Yo, what's flagging on YouTube? FalconGames here with a video showing off all of the returning Pokemon in Pokemon Sword and Shield. Now, this video won't contain any spoilers for any of the quote-unquote leaked Pokedex that has surfaced recently, mainly because I don't want this video taken down. But we're just going to go ahead and discuss all the returning Pokemon. So if you still think that's spoilers, then go ahead, take your time right now, click off the video. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into this little show-off thing with Generation 1. Now, as you can see, I only have the final stage forms of Pokemon on here, so if I'm only putting the final forms on here, because if I didn't, then it would be way too much. But if the final form of Pokemon is on here, then their whole evolutionary line is on here. So as you can see, Charizard's on here, so that also means Charmander and Charmeleon is also in the game. So just for the confusion. Now, looking at what is coming back for Generation 1, we have Charizard, Butterfree, Vileplume, Ninetales, Arcanine, Ditto, Kingler, Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, Machamp, Gengar, Clefable, Gyarados, Seeking, Cloyster, Dugtrio, Persian, Raichu, Lapras, and Snorlax. Now real quick, before I do forget, I know they're not on here, but Eevee in all 7 or 8 if it's evolutions, I don't know. So we've Jolteon, Flareon, Vaporeon, Umbreon, Espeon, Leafeon, Glaceon, and Sylveon are all coming back as well, including Eevee. But I couldn't fit room for them on any of the gems that they're in, so that's why they're not on here. But looking at what's here, I mean, in all honesty, this is a lot less Gen 1 Pokemon than I really thought was going to be here. I mean, I honestly thought every single Gen 1 on, except for the Bird Trio and Mewtwo, were making it on in the Sword and Shield. But considering the fact that none of them are, or this little of it is here, is really surprising. Really surprised too, Alakazam isn't coming back. That really took me by surprise. It's always that group of Pokemon like Alakazam, Gengar, and Gyarados, especially those 3, that no matter what the game is, I mean, with the exception of Black and White, always sneak their way into the new Pokemon game. So for the fact that Alakazam isn't here, but really excited that Butterfree has made it. He obviously has with its Gigantamax form, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm really mad at Charizard's the only starter that, it's not even just in Gen 1, just in all the gens he's coming back, and he's also got his own little Gigantamax form. But I mean, yeah, it's Charizard, but it's really annoying. Obviously Raichu is coming back with Pikachu's Gigantamax form coming back. Really excited though for the Hitmons, Dugtrio, they come back, and Kingler, because also those, I feel like they're all really slept on Pokemon. Definitely very slept on Pokemon. So really excited for them to come back. Really surprised something like Seeking's coming back though, and Persian. I honestly thought with Persian getting an Alolan form last gen, which by the way, I'm 90% sure that Alolan forms are not coming back. So the 4 you see on here, they're not coming back. I'm 90% sure about it. But really surprised that Persian got back in and Seeking. I honestly expected something else to come back before those guys, but if Gen 1 Pokemon were going to be cut, I honestly thought they were going to be the Pokemon, but I guess not, Game Freak. But just still so surprised about Alakazam, but really excited for Pokemon like Vileplume, Ninetales to get Bit the Light. And it was obvious with breeding for competitive, Ditto was going to come back. So with that being Gen 1, let's go ahead and jump right into Generation 2. Now, Gen 2, all the Pokemon we have returning are Noctowl, Delibird, Xatu, Quagsire, Bellossom, Sudowoodo, Hitmontop, Octillery, Steelix, Wobbuffet, Lantern, Quillfish, Mantine, and Tyranitar. Now, as you can see already, tremendously a lot less Gen 2 Pokemon coming back, and I'm pretty sure out of all the gens, this has got to be the least amount of Pokemon from a gen coming back. And it's such an interesting combination too. I mean, Noctowl, definitely an interesting one to pick. But Delibird, Xatu, Octillery, Bellossom, and Sudowoodo coming back. Tyranitar was honestly the most expected that comes back, and then I guess Hitmontop, Steelix, and Quagsire are also, and of course Wobbuffet, and I mean I guess Mantine, since it lives in the ocean, coming back. So those are like the most, but for the most part, most of them are generically just some interesting choices to come back. So definitely an interesting group. I'm really happy though that something like Quillfish and Hitmontop are back. But one thing I'm actually surprised about is that Ampharos didn't make it. Like Ampharos is like the Gen 2 Pokemon. Like after the starters and I'd probably say after the starters and Tyranitar, Ampharos is right there with the amount of just popularity from Generation 2. So definitely surprising that he's not coming back. It's interesting to see for competitive at least where most of these Pokemon are going to fall. I know a lot of good Intimidate users got dropped, so something tells me Hitmontop and Quillfish are going to get a lot more usage now, since it's one of the few old Pokemon that has Intimidate. Obviously, there's still a whole like new 300 something Pokemon from the league decks, I think. So one of them's bound to have Intimidate. But yeah, that's all I really have about Gen 2. So let's go ahead and jump right into Generation 3. Now, with Gen 3, all the Pokemon returning: Ludicolo, Shiftry, Pelipper, Manectric, Glalie, Lunatone, Claydol, Crawdon, Ninjask, Shedinja, Gardevoir, Milotic, Whiscash, Torkoal, Wailord, Flygon, and Solrock are all returning. Now, the obvious ones are Milotic, Manectric, and Gardevoir returning, and Glalie. Not really that big of a shocker. Pelipper, it got a huge boost, especially with competitive last gen, so I'm not really too surprised that he's back. Lunatone and Solrock and Ninjask, Shedinja, and Whiscash are probably the ones that surprised me the most, and probably Shiftry. I honestly wasn't really expecting those Pokemon to return. Wailord, I mean, I really don't care that Wailord's back. I really wouldn't care if he was not being brought back either. Same with probably Torkoal and Claydol. I know Torkoal got a pretty decent boost last gen 2 with getting Overheat, with getting the Drought ability. So definitely don't know what's happening, or don't know what's happening. Definitely just interesting choices again. I mean, some of them are pretty obvious. One I'm not surprised, but a little surprised about is Salamence not coming back. Definitely thought that Salamence was going to make a return. But he is sadly one of the many Intimidate users, especially, that got dropped this Gen 8 coming. So they're definitely, I feel like, trying to make or let like more underrated Pokemon shine. Like Pokemon like Ludicolo, Crawdon, and Flygon that usually would get overseen by Pokemon like Salamence. So it seems like that's what they're doing with the older gens. So other than that, definitely. I don't even say definitely. It's just, Gen 3 is just the one gen that I really just don't think about. I mean, I could really care less if any of these Pokemon really came back, but I wouldn't say that, but off the top of my head, I mean, there's not really any Pokemon I really can think of that I'm sad that's not coming back, but I don't care, have much thought of all of them coming back too. So, with that, I mean, I don't have anything else to say about Gen 3, but so let's just jump into Gen 4. So, now jumping into Gen 4, all the Pokemon returning are Roserade, Mamoswine, Frostlass, Abomasnow, Vespiquen, Bronzong, Gallade, Drifloon, Cherrim, Skuntank, Dusknoir, Toxicroak, Gastrodon, Togekiss, Rhyperior, Drapion, Weavile, Lucario, Hippowdon, and Rotom. And of course, obviously, all of Rotom's form: Rotom Wash, Freeze. I don't know all the names off the top of my head, but they are all definitely returning. So the obvious ones, I mean, just like again with Gengar, Machamp, and Gyarados, I feel like Lucario, Togekiss, and to a point Weavile are just those Pokemon that no matter what will come back. I mean, probably not as much Togekiss as Lucario and Weavile, but probably not even Togekiss, Lucario, Weavile, and Rotom. Just those Pokemon that are guaranteed to come back. Other than, like, I'd say Cherrim, Vespiquen, and Abomasnow, this is a really solid lineup, competitive speaking, from Gen 4. All of these Pokemon are, except for, like, I'd say 2 or 3. Yeah, I mean, not counting the 3 I just listed off, have all been an OU before, or at least have a form like Rotom and OU or UU. So they're all definitely very good Pokemon competitive-wise. Definitely, probably other than Gen 1, the strongest lineup from a Gen coming competitive speaking. Definitely, though, kind of sad Electivire is not coming back, or really sad that I'm actually just noticing that Honchkrow isn't coming back. Honchkrow is definitely either that or Weavile, my favorite Dark-type Pokemon, and if not, it's my favorite Flying type. Definitely just... I mean, other than that, I'm not really too disappointed about the rest of the Gen 4 mons. I mean, I knew for a fact none of the starters were coming back, so I can't even be sad about Infernape or anything, because it was just destined. It was pretty obvious that they weren't coming, but... I mean, it's pretty much the obvious stuff. I mean, Gallade with Gardevoir coming back was pretty much safe. Lucario was obviously coming back, and I'm just happy that maybe, what to call it, Drapion and Toxicroak maybe, and maybe even some of the lesser known Rotom forms, like Rotom Mo and Rotom Fan will finally get some love, competitive-wise, now that maybe some of those bigger Gen 4 Pokemon are out of the way. But definitely excited just to see competitive talking, where it goes from here. So let's go ahead and get right into Gen 5. Now, Gen 5 is definitely the largest dex that we have returning, starting with Unpheasant, Liepard, Cinccino, Galvantula, Vanillix, Crustle, Golett, Musharna, Klinklang, Seismitoad, Basculin, Swoobat, Garbodor, Excadrill, Gigalith, Conkeldurr, Ferrothorn, Bisharp, Scrafty, Sockthrow, Whimsicott, Gothitelle, Reuniclus, Escavalier, Excelgor, Beheon, Beartic, Braviary, Mandibuzz, Chandelure, Maractus, Sigilyph, Hydreigon, Jellicent, Yarn, Heatmor, and Haxorus all coming back. Whew, oh my goodness, that's a lot. I was honestly expecting the complete opposite. And not much. Gen 5, 6, or 7 returning, but pretty much most of Gens 1 and 2 returning, and maybe a little, like half of 3 and 4, and then a little bit of each 5, 6, and 7 coming back. But it is mostly Gen 5. Now, one thing I'm pissed about is Crocodile's not coming back. It's my favorite ground type, I kind of have to say it. But, I mean, a lot of the things coming back, like Golurk, I'm happy about. Reuniclus, I'm explosive about. Bisharp, Durant, Chandelure, Haxorus, Sigilyph, even Sockthrow, Ferrothorn, Conkeldurr, Excadrill, I'm really happy I'm coming back. But things like Maractus, Beheon, Heatmor, and Basculin, and even to a point Seismitoad and Musharna, and Vanillix, Crystal, and especially the thing that pisses me off, Unpheasant coming back. Like, we're dropping Staraptor and Honchkrow for things like Unpheasant. It just really ticked me off. But we definitely got the worst and the best parts of the Gen 5 Pokedex. Just like I said, I am fuming about Crocodile in all honesty. But I mean, other than that, competitive-wise, we got a lot of good hard hitters and defensive Pokemon coming back. I'm definitely really excited, hopefully, to maybe see things like Durant and what else? Durant and maybe Golurk, Scrafty all have a shine in competitive again. Actually, another thing I'm surprised, Scolipede is not coming back either. But I mean, we're getting Unpheasant and Maractus, but not Crocodile. I'm sorry, it ticks me off to no end, just knowing that has happened. But let's just go ahead, let's get my mood back up a little bit and jump into Generation 6. Now, Gen 6, we have Diggersby, Pangoro, Noivern, Gourgeist, Meowstic, Slurpuff, Aromatisse, Barbarical, Malamar, Helios, Kalucha, Trevenant, Avalugg, Aegislash, and Goodra. Pretty surprised that Goodra's returning. I mean, I would expect out of the pseudo legendaries, maybe Garchomp and Dragonite before Goodra to return, but I'm not mad about Goodra. It was pretty. By the name of the games, it was going to be pretty dumb. Aegislash didn't come back. Definitely. Honestly, I'm more mad that Aromatisse is coming back. I don't like Aromatisse at all. It's such a bad Pokemon. But I am so happy that both Slurpuff and Hawlucha are coming back. Obviously, Hawlucha being my mascot, I was ecstatic when I found out it was finally coming back. When I saw it in the trailer, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember seeing much Pokemon in the trailer, but I do remember seeing Hawlucha, and I was ecstatic when I found this out. I was so happy. But I'm excited for Pokemon like Meowstic and actually Diggersby to finally get some more light in the competitive scene. Definitely Diggersby. When Gen 6 X and Y first came out, Diggersby was hated. I remember so much it was hated, but then when people found out it had huge power, you smack Choice Band on it, it had agility. You can get an agility literally at level 3 when you catch as a Bunnelby. Have that, you can run Choice Band Quick Attack or Agility Swords Dance with Return and Earthquake. Oh, it's so disgusting of a Pokemon. It can actually be such a hard-hitting Pokemon. It's disgusting. But I mean, whew, I'm so excited that it's finally gonna get some light, some love. I can't wait. Oh my god, I can't wait to use Diggersby on the Nintendo Switch and Rockhouse on competitive. That's one thing I'm definitely going to love about the Switch. I'm just thinking how good the models are gonna look. The models are going to look beautiful, as we've seen from Let's Go. But I mean, nothing else to say. So let's just go ahead and jump right into Gen 7. So with Gen 7, we have returning Vikavolt, Serena, Mudsdale, Beware, Wishy-Washy, Pyukumuku, Rabombi, Araquanid, Golisopod, Salazzle, Mimikyu, Toxapex, Shiinotic, Delmise, Passimian, Oranguru, Turtonator, Drampa, Silvally, and Como. Definitely the most surprising is Pyukumuku and Silvally. Well, Pyukumuku because it's Pyukumuku, but Silvally because Type Note was like just this big event thing. You could only get one at a time. And I guess the same could go for Riolu at the time, but it was really like it was just given to you. Now all of a sudden Silvally's gonna be in Gen 8. It's just so weird. I mean, I would expect Palossand before it, but Komo coming back. Obviously, the Z-moves being gone, it's not gonna be as good. But it's still got things like Dragon Dance, Outrage, Clanging Scales, Close Combat, Drain Punch. So it's still gonna be such a solid physical attacker, especially since things like Lando T are not coming back or any of that. It's just going. Oh, it's gonna be such a good fighter with, especially with Diggersby. Whew. Vikavolt was probably the most obvious to come back, and Beware, because they're actually like both pretty favorites. Vikavolt is actually one of those Pokemon where I'm not terribly mad. Vikavolt is probably one of my most favorite Gen 7 mons. It's definitely just the coolest thing. But I mean, Toxapex and Mimikyu is pretty obvious too. They're definitely coming back. Toxapex actually being one of 2 Pokemon with Regenerator returning, the other one being Reuniclus, which is crazy. And the rest are just, I mean, weird choices, but definitely okay. I mean, Golisopod and Araquanid were pretty obvious, or not as obvious though. But Serena, Mudsdale, Wishy-Washy, Salazzle, all them, especially Shiinotic and Delmise, Turtonator, those were the weird ones that I was like, why? But I'm actually not mad about Drampa either. I'm actually really excited to try Drampa out on Sword and Shield. So we'll see how it goes from there. And Passimian and Oranguru, they're solid, but I mean they're not great. But I think actually competitive-wise, Oranguru is a little bit better than Passimian in my opinion. But I mean, hey, guess we're gonna find out in Gen 8. So with that is gonna go ahead and be all the Pokemon from past generations returning in Pokemon Sword and Shield. It's crazy to think that the games are only a week away. I did this all Friday morning, like getting all this together, and then I'm probably uploading it late Friday night, so I'm honestly really tired, especially after getting home at 1 a.m. the prior day. So with all that, make sure you guys hit that like button if you guys enjoyed. Also hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on any future Sword and Shield content. Also, the list of where I got the Pokedex thing will be down in the description below if you want to check that out. It'll be there. With all that, my name's Falcon Games. I will see you all next time. Bye.